Tanjiro is the only one who's really there. But I mean, what's he really gonna do against an upper six? So, he he gets beaten, but he does his best to still stand his ground and fight and do the best he can. I mean, hi, what he did here was just madness. given that, given that it's just anyway. Take a look. Yeah, yeah, crazy. He does his best, but you see him even with those two broken fingers trying to put in the final hit, and it's still not enough. Like here, when you obviously know he's about to go meet his family on the other side, boom, this happens. The poison was already going through him and reaching his blood vessels and every part of his body, which meant in time he was going to end up shutting down, or well, let's call it dying. So what Tengen did here, which is crazy, do not try this at home. So what Tengen did, and if we want to say it this way, being able to use your total concentration breathing can give you greater control over your muscles, given that you would use the total, I don't say torque, but the full flow of your muscles to strike down a yokai. So Tengen is almost like using it in a different way. So instead of using it towards an attack, he's going to deliver. Tengen uses it to intentionally stop his heart from beating, which is mad, given that there's a super small window that your heart cannot be beating before you're actually dead. I mean, that's a lot of faith in your technique. And I don't know if he's ever tried this before, but again, do not try it at home. So Tengen, using his total concentration breathing, applies pressure from his own chest muscles to intentionally stop his heartbeat, which is mad. But when he does this, obviously his blood flow starts, dulling a bit, because of the heart is obviously the engine flowing everything. If it starts to go out, or if it goes out altogether, that momentum in terms of your blood, quote, again, we call it blood flow in your bloodstream or your veins, it's going to start to slow down, which also means it'll affect anything that was trying to pollute it, aka Gyutaro's poison. So with that happening, Tengen set some kind of delay effect or something. He's not taking himself out. He's delayed the effect so that maybe in 2 minutes or 5, boom, boom, his muscles squeeze again or contract and now revive him. Think of this as any One Piece fans out there? Okay. Think of this as what happened with Enel when he got hit with the impact dial on the heart, and he used his actual thunder fruit as a defibrillator to revive his own heart, which is a crazy skill, but he did it. So it's a similar kind of story. Now, you'll see here that with Uzui doing this, what that has done is his blood is now surging, almost like a tidal wave all around his body. So with this, his adrenaline is now on, I don't even know there's a roof anymore. It's gone through the roof, which is why if you hear him speaking, he sounds so hyper in the whole fight. And when he picks up with his counter technique there, the musical score, it just goes to another level. This is just to explain why Tengen was doing what he was doing. I almost feel like he wasn't even feeling what was happening or aware of it. He's just in a flow because of the adrenaline rush from restarting his heart. So they're obviously in this fight and they're scrapping like crazy. Again, when you're on the edge of victory, a lot of stuff can happen. They thought they had the win, right here. Obviously didn't work out. They thought they had the win also here. Obviously didn't work out. And they thought they had the win here with Tanjiro's move. Obviously didn't work out. But the key is not to give up. Perseverance is a huge part of this. And you can also see how different things have shown up in this whole entire fight. Things that people didn't even expect. So fast forward to where you're now seeing the whole point of Uzui now fighting toe-to-toe with Gyutaro, in spite of him having -1 hand. And you see that Gyutaro has never been in this kind of situation before. I think it's been a long time since he's been in a situation like this where he's caught off guard by stuff happening and he's not in control of the fight. For the people who've watched anime or shonen, a lot of those ones, you realize that a lot of these fights, if the power level is well balanced, dog fights usually end poorly for any enemy. And Gyutaro was doing well before, but now this whole thing's becoming a dogfight. And the longer a dogfight drags out, usually the odds of the hero winning are increasing. I mean, go ask Naruto, go ask, especially Luffy, look at his fight with Crocodile. The longer the hero is lasting, the more his odds are actually going. Even Goku versus Frieza, thank you. And the more the enemy is now being like, why isn't this person going down? After all these blows and attacks I've done, this person is still standing. You get what I mean? It's a bit of a mind trip for the enemy. And if it takes the enemy a long while to regain his or her sharpness in the fight, that's going to cost them dearly. As you can see with Gyutaro's own, he's like 200 years old or 100 plus years or whatever. So when was the last time he had to step out and fight a Hashira? Even if it's been a while, it also says no two Hashira are the same. So if it took him a long while in the fight to get up to his 104%, that's his mistake. Because it cost him the fight. Him underestimating Uzui, clearly, Uzui pushed him hard and well enough that, they're not on an even setting. And as you can see with the exchange, where Uzui is actually able to take off his hand, which is huge, considering Gyutaro was actually a notch above him in speed. But then it obviously cost Uzui his eye. But then Uzui, like so I said, the adrenaline is flowing through this guy like crazy. He's still pushing through. And now he gives Tanjiro the platform to deliver the final blow, which was unexpected, but much needed. Remember back to when I said about Inosuke and Tanjiro not being obedient members of the Demon Slayer Corps in this regard? As in when Uzui told them to leave. If they had left, you and I know what would have happened. Obviously, Uzui would have died, and he would also join Rengoku in the long list of Hashira who have given their lives for the cause. Now, with Inosuke, Zenitsu, and Tanjiro, and also Nezuko, let's add her, staying in this fight, all of them together came to form a newbie Hashira, let's say, if we're going to talk about their strength combined. And I think with that, it's what helped make the difference in this fight. Because Uzui was technically going to have to have fought 2-on-1, which would have been his loss right from the beginning. But with their presence there, the fact they didn't actually obey what he said, that's what led to all the surprise and turn of events and everything that, like, where they happened to get a whole win in this thing. Yeah. And if we look even past when they're actually able to take off the heads of Gyutaro and Daki, Nezuko's ability to burn any blood demon art, which is what saved all the people who were poisoned, aka Uzui, Tanjiro, Inosuke, and I think Zenitsu. So all in all, who would have predicted that on the edge of victory is where they would have seen so many different things come alive? Yeah, let's now dive into like some interesting things that show up when you, in particular, are on the edge of victory.